Before your eyes lies the Celestial Islands, a world of peace above the clouds, protected by 4 great houses. The sturdy House of Sapphire, empowered by the spirits of lakes and rivers, the Kappa. The cunning House of Topaz, wielding the fiery and illusory spells learned from the Kitsune. The fierce House of Ruby, blessed by the winged lords of the mountains, the Tengu. The secretive House of Jade, weaving deadly traps in the dark forests of the Ogumo. As ruler of the islands, you must keep the balance between man and kami. But dark times are ahead. An ancient enemy has returned. Unite the houses and gather samurai wielding both blade and magic. Such is the path of the Mahokenshi.
Welcome to this video about Mahokenshi. Mahokenshi is a deck building strategy game that I'm thrilled to announce that it will be released in January 2023. My name is David Cicurel and I've been working in the video game industry for several years now. I've been working on big AAA like Heroes of Might and Magic, XCOM, Assassin's Creed, Batman, but I'm more famous for a board game I designed called Chronicle of Crime. In Chronicle of Crime, I had already this idea of combining technology with board game, trying to bring what I know from video game into the board game. In Mahokenshi, I had the same quest, trying to combine both, but trying to take from the board game, and I'm a very huge board game fan, into the video game I've been working on so long. So this is the result of those investigations, of those trials that bring Mahokenshi to life. But I'm sure you want to see more about the game than just a plain menu, so let's go!
In the most remote islands of the Celestial Realm, rumors of rebels and uprisings are common. But more recent rumors speak of dark forces and villages being destroyed. You have been sent to investigate.
In Mahokenshi, you are becoming a samurai mage. You are going to need to explore an hexagonal map, find new cards to build up your deck and your power. You will be able to find narrative events, engage enemy in combat, in one core objective, fulfilling your mission. Oh, and there is many missions. The Celestial Islands that the Mahokenshi have sworn to protect are being invaded by mysterious foes that are invoking demons, Oni, from the underworld. Each mission have their own victory conditions and defeat conditions. So you will have to adjust your deck you are building based on those missions. Yes, because this is something that is very special in Mahokenshi. When you start a mission, you start with a fresh deck, and you will have to build up your deck based on the mission. The game leaves tons of room for experimentation. You can select your cards as you wish, build up your power as you wish to try to win the missions. And you can restart the mission if you haven't win as much as you want. Try different strategy, see how you will win the game. One of the possibilities can be to select a different Mahokenshi, because there is 4 different Mahokenshi from 4 different houses. Each of those houses are blessed by a different kami, an elemental spirit that give their power to the Mahokenshi. By the way, Mahokenshi means samurai mage. Mao is for magic and Kenshi for swordman. But let's come back to the houses. The first one, House of Ruby, is represented by Ayaka, a fearless warrior who do not hesitate to sacrifice her own health to gain more power. She is blessed by the Tengu, the winged lord of the mountain. The Tengu grant her some ability to fly or to increase her strength. It's the first Mahokenshi you will be able to play. Next is Kaito from the House of Sapphire, the toughest of the Mahokenshi. Thanks to the Kappa, the kings of lakes and rivers, he has unmatched defense. He can slay enemy surrounding him like no one. You might not see the third Mahokenshi coming, as he is the master of stealth, blazed by the Ogumo, the spider kami. Sota is very skilled in using the kunai. He is very fast and will surprise you with his presence or his lure. Very interesting strategy can be built with Sota. Last but not least, Misaki of House Topaz. She appears to be the weakest. She has less health point than the others. But, don't fool yourself. She has her kami, the Kitsune, the Fox kami, the Trickster. And she's really powerful Mahokenshi. She has the possibility to target her enemy at long range. She is mastering fire magic and invoking spirits and worlds. She's able to teleport herself. Yes, Misaki is really a fun Mahokenshi to play, because each Mahokenshi has their own unique abilities. But let's see another map so I can show you a little bit how it works.
As villages start to burn, the presence of a forbidden magic becomes obvious. A corrupt sorcerer is sacrificing innocents as part of a dark ritual to invoke Oni from the underworld. You must protect the land from this threat. Defeat him before he destroys all the villages.
As I was saying, when you start a mission, you can select any of the 4 characters. Therefore, each mission will feel quite different when you adopt the styles and the capacity of a character. Trying to beat the mission with all the characters is, quite rewarding and interesting. Another thing that can help on replayability and the will to test the game in a different way is the challenges. We have different challenges for every mission. The first one is, of course, to complete the mission and win the objective, but there is also some tough challenges that you might want to try. And those challenges are really part of the gameplay, because winning them allow you to win Mahoken crystal that you will be able to invest in order to power up in the metagame. But let's see that in a minute. Let's see first how you overcome those challenges. To overcome those challenges, you need to understand that you need to build a deck. The game and the first elements of the game is a deck building game. So you need to tailor your game in such a way that you will be able to trigger combos and being able to match the objective of the mission. Each mission requires that you build a specific deck that will allow you to defeat the different enemies that are on your path. Each enemy has their own abilities, so you need to adjust your deck in order to be able to overcome those abilities. What makes Mahokenshi so unique is that despite many games of the genre, we have decided to mix the exploration phase and the combat phase. Therefore, you have one unique gameplay experience. In the deck building challenge that you are confronted to, that means that you need to select if you want to add some exploration cards or some combat cards into your deck. Put too much exploration cards into your deck and you will be very fast, being able to reach the objective very fast and in time, but also maybe you will be too weak to defeat the opponents facing you. Put too much combat cards in your deck and yes, you will be very strong, but will you be fast enough to move around the map and beat the objective, the timing objective that are often there in the different maps? That's all the question, and the question of balance and deck building to finding which card you need to put in your deck in order to create not only the best combo, but also the most adapted to the mission. One thing also that I want to emphasize is that Mahokenshi is a deck building game, but in deck building game, I don't mean a game like Magic or Hearthstone where you prepare your deck, have all your time you want to build up your deck, and then test your deck against other people or against a mission. Here, you always start with a basic set of cards and you are going to deck build during the mission. This is very important because it's what allowed you to, experiment, gain a lot of power during the missions, take the cards to create the combos adapted to the missions and win. But if you are resetted at the beginning of every mission, that doesn't mean that playing more doesn't allow you to unlock new stuff. Of course, you unlock new mission, but you also gain Mahoken crystal, like I was saying earlier, by succeeding challenges. Those Mahoken crystal, you can spend them into the way of the Mahoken and gain some special bonuses. You can also level up your character. By leveling up your character, you will unlock new cards, therefore new strategy, new combos, new elements to play with, and being able to beat the new missions that are also being unlocked. The level up also allowed you to grant talisman and equipment. Those are shared between all the Mahokenshi. Therefore, the more you play a little bit of every Mahokenshi, the more you will unlock elements that will be valuable for any Mahokenshi you will play. let's go back into the gameplay maybe. How do you build your deck? Because you have, of course, the pickup. You have a card pickup where you go through those card pickup, you gain some new cards and can select between 3 cards which one you want to put into your deck. But you have also other landmarks. And you've got the villages. The villages allowed you to access the market where you can buy those cards, but you will need gold in order to buy new cards. And gold can be collected by killing the enemies of the islands that has gold as reward. You have also the dojo. The dojo is another landmark that's allowed you to upgrade your cards and make cards that seems a little bit weak at start a lot more powerful because you have trained with it. You have the shrine. The shrine is allow you to purify your deck, to destroy cards that are inside your deck and doesn't feel relevant, and all these elements allow you to fine-tune your deck in order to get only the cards you want. So the deck building aspect is very present. Another interesting landmark that you can encounter is the castle. The castle grants you talismans. Those talismans I spoke a little bit earlier are passive bonuses that will trigger in certain conditions. And therefore having those talismans will give you another layer of combo, as you need to match the talismans you are granted with the deck you are building in order to make a better synergy between your passive bonus and your cards. If I have to give an advice, I would advise you to go and seek those events that are spread in some maps. Those events give you extra narrative element, explain you a little bit more what's happening into the missions, sometimes grant you secondary quest or powerful boost that is linked with the story. Of course, powerful boost always or often goes with a downside or another challenge to face, but it's usually worth it. Mahokenshi is really a strategy game, a deck building strategy game. Therefore, we really wanted in the game to have this possibility to lose in a very easy way, a little bit like a roguelike, but it's more mission based than roguelike as such. But you need to try to experiment to find out what's the best strategy to win each puzzle that represents each map, because each map is, and we really put all our efforts to differentiate the objectives and the flavor of each of those maps in order to give challenges for the player to try to overcome by building a nice deck, by selecting the correct character that has the playstyle that feel the most appropriate for the map, and give to the player this feeling that they have found a good strategy to overcome the challenges that they are facing. Something also that we wanted to convey during the game is the immersion into this celestial island and this universe that we have created. We have tried to spread along the strategy game all the flavor of this world that is magical, and it's infused of such passion, where the game remains a strategy game where the story is not the core focus. The adventure needed to be there, and we wanted the story to be important into the game. Or last thing that was also very important for me into this game is that I wanted the game to be accessible. The game, let's get rid of boring tutorials that are very long to learn every elements, but making sure that player jump into the game, play the game quickly. They might not know what is deck building, but they will discover on their journey. They might not know how hex-based strategy work, but they're going to discover as they play. It was very important that the game being, accessible to everyone and not reserved to a small expert community. So yes, we wanted the game to be challenging. Yes, we wanted the game to be immersive, and we wanted also this game to be accessible. And I hope we have achieved that. You to tell.
Well-defended castles protect magical gemstones that hold the power of the kami. The cult is seeking these gems, and has unleashed a blazing Oni to retrieve them. Stop it from reaching the castle, or nothing but ashes will remain.
been working for Game Source Studio, a studio based in Paris, working on AAA and AA for quite some time now. And the company has something great that's allowed the employee to present game ideas and experiment game ideas. So I presented this deck building adventure game idea, and we receive the possibility with a programmer and a designer working with me to make a prototype. The prototype was quite ugly, not very good looking, but the core mechanic was very pleasant, unique, and intriguing. And this has convinced everyone in the studio that we should move forward. So we move forward. We put a universe, the Celestial Islands, into it. We put, nice art and graphism, and started to demo it, show it to players, making some demo that has attracted Iceberg Interactive, that a nice publisher that's seen this game as lots of potentials, and thanks to the studio and thanks to them, we have been able to move forward into this adventure. The team, I guess the team evolved depending of the moment of the project. We have always been a small team, a kind of small indie team inside a bigger studio who were working on AA and AAA, and it was kind of awkward as we were this small team of maybe 5 people that was working on this indie type of game, but trying to bring all the expertise and quality requirement that we wanted into the game. The team, was composed of programmers, designers, artists. I guess I surely need to mention our wonderful technical director, who has been into the indie scene also quite a while, created management game, his most famous being Machiavellian. We have lots of artists that has helped us to do the 3D model, and of course our concept artist that is a rock star who made all those wonderful art, we've got also lots of designers who help us create the cards, making all the level design, and tuning the game is something that required a lot of help. We receive help from all over the place, and I guess lots of people have came, help us a bit, move on to something else, but yeah, the core team is maybe those 5 people that's kept all along the journey. I think the answer of this question is certainly Japan. We have been influenced a lot by the Japanese mythology, but that we have decided to, use freely in a very fantasy way. It's not only Japan that is put into this world. Lots of different elements from other myths are also into Mahokenshi, but France and Japan has a very good connections, and as French kids we have been a lot influenced by Japanese culture. We've got a lot of Japanese lovers in France, and there is this connection with the Japanese myth that we wanted to strengthen. Being a samurai mage, fighting onis was quite a nice idea. So we work with a cultural reviewer, Chivalry Japan, who helped us to make sure we were, keeping the atmosphere, fantasy atmosphere, but getting all the elements that we wanted in a very safe way into the game. And this is how we construct the universe, taking myth and using them to make it compliant with the game. The kami are the protectors of the Mahokenshi, and we use Japan myths to help create those kami. The kappa, or the kitsune, the tengu, and the ogumo. They are not the transcription of the Japanese myth, but they have some connection and they are close to them. Board game are very good inspiration for video game. I mean, from Magic the Gathering came Hearthstone. From game like Dominion came game like Slay the Spire. And as a board game fan and a board game geek, I realized that there was a kind of game that was quite trendy and that I kind of like, was the deck building adventure genre. And I did not saw anything like this in video game. When I say deck building adventure, I'm thinking of game like Mage Knight or game like Clank, game that mix this deck building mechanism that I really enjoy with a board and moving into a board. And this is what I wanted to adapt to create a video game. I did not want to have a full board game, I really want to have a true video game, but that was using this deck building adventure genre that I could not foresee in the video game. That can be seen as a little bit of a spoiler questions, I must say, but the celestial realm is, being invaded by Oni and goblins, people from the underworld that have found their way to go into these celestial islands, those islands among the cloud. So the Mahokenshi are fighting them, but they are also fighting the force, the cult that is invoking them. What is the cult is trying to do? What is their objective? This is something that stay hidden and that the player will need to discover by playing the missions. Oh yes, of course, ton of them. Books, movie, manga, anime. I'm certainly have to say Yoshikawa, Miyazaki are people who has inspired me. As a RPG lover, I certainly have also to name Legend of the Five Rings, who has been a great role-playing game I've played a lot during my youth. In a way, there is so many influence that we picked on all those influence to make this game unique and this universe special. We wanted also to make the universe accessible. We get also something that is straight to the point, so people can project themselves very easily. And I hope that's what we did. No, I don't have any favorite Mahokenshi. It's like asking to a father which one of his children he liked the most. No, I like them all. They all have their unique abilities, unique specificities, and they have all this feeling that I like to play. Currently, maybe I'm playing a little bit more with Misaki. She's the latest one that you unlock. She's a little bit more difficult to play and has capacity of teleport and range that I'm eager to master a little bit more currently. But really, all of them are very exciting to play, and I can't choose. That's a hard one. The cards have a lot of capacity and possibilities, and the difficulty, I guess, is that the cards are mostly combat cards, and I would tend to go into more moving card, like having wings or being able to teleport myself would be very cool abilities that would be really useful in real life. But having the power of the Kami goes also with a downside, because the more you use the power of the Kami, the more you will gain attributes from those Kami. So if you use the power of the Tengu, the winged lord of the mountains, you will start to have feathers that grow into your skin. If you decide that you like the power of the Kitsune, then abuse it a little bit too much, you will have a tail that will going to grow, and so on the different Kami. So yes, having the power of the Kami will be nice in real life, but I'm not sure I'm ready to take the downside to it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it and you are now intrigued enough to wishlist the game and be informed when it will be launched.
Corruption rolls over the horizon, and the presence of a forbidden magic threatens the very sanctity of the Celestial Islands. You, the Mahokenshi, hailing from one of the 4 great houses, are the only one powerful enough to stop this evil. Ayaka of House Ruby. Fearless and relentless, she sacrifices her own life to attack with greater ferocity. Sota of House Jade, a master of stealth. He prefers to ambush his enemies with lures and poisons. Misaki of House Topaz. Valuing knowledge and deception, she wields powerful spells to confuse and destroy. And Kaito of House Sapphire. Slow but powerful, he uses tactical positioning to crush his foe with brute strength.